think with what's like between the website, the advertising, the promo cycle, probably well over 50, 60K that I pulled in these, whatever, 13 weeks together.
And so what we're going to be doing today is we have a special guest coming in here where if you've been a part of this community, every single week, we want to bring in a special guest to teach what's working for them inside the world of cash physical therapy. And today we got someone who's been a part of our world since the beginning. I'm pretty sure you went through our first Facebook ads course like 3 years ago, didn't you?
Yeah, what was it called? I think Physio Ads That Convert was.
Yeah, Physio Ads to Convert.
Yeah.
Let's go. So you, I was really, really excited to have you come back into our world just because you've seen us from the very beginning. And I know that you can share some like interesting perspective and not only like how we've like grown over the years, but what I especially liked about your story, what I think the people within this community need to see is how consistent you've been across multiple channels of growing your practice and showcasing that there's no silver bullets in business. It's not like one strategy, one thing that's going to change your life, but being consistent in a lot of different areas. As they say, no silver bullets, but a lot of lead ones. And what I like about you is you're a relentless worker and like you're someone who's going to be successful no matter what. But you focus on a few things that allow you to go a little bit faster. And so I'm excited to dig into all that stuff with you today.
Sure, man. I'm excited to be here. It's been a lot of fun, man.
Yeah, right on. Can you just tee up yourself a little bit, like your background, your practice, where you're at in it, that sort of stuff?
Yeah. So I'm in Columbus, Ohio. Did all my schooling, sports residency, everything at the Ohio State University. Got to go with the.
Yeah, right. You have to.
So I worked for Ohio State for, I think it was maybe a year and a half after residency. And just quickly realized in-network was not for me. So that's when I started my practice, which was in, I think 2018 is when I started my practice officially. And, getting that started was I worked home health just to kind of pay the bills while I built myself up, building myself up through a lot of just like, was lucky to have a lot of relationships in the gym and the fitness world and CrossFit and Olympic lifting and just everything from my ties in town through being at Ohio State. So leveraging all that stuff, growing, my business till eventually I was, I think 70, 80 hours a week between home health and my business, which is when I shut home health down and went full time.
Yeah.
And then, since then it's just been, learning a lot of things, growing the practice, until at a place now where probably actually am hiring, am looking to build out my own space and am looking to kind of take that next step to really, scale beyond myself.
That's what I'm talking about, man. And like, so how long have you been running the practice now?
5 years in total, 2018.
Nice.
I talked to you about this, I think, when I first signed up for the program, but there was a bit of a year and a half, maybe 2 years where I was just kind of maintenance mode, where I was kind of working on building up some online stuff. Still have that as kind of it's called a side piece, but now back full focus, and growing the practice. And again, in a really good situation with the practice because some of the things I did, pre all of that, to where although I wasn't focused on growth, it just stayed super steady, super busy because of the foundation I think I had in place.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And so when you first got started, what was the primary way of getting clients for you?
A lot of referrals. So again, I was pretty active with an Olympic weightlifting group in town. I trained with them a lot. That was kind of like my thing. So I got a lot of referrals from those guys, and the guy that I was working with, the coach, had a ton of connections in town. So I was lucky to, be able to leverage his connections in the CrossFit world, the lifting world. And really my start came from pretty much all CrossFitters, Olympic lifters, strength athletes. And also where my office was set up was in the back of a local, just small group training gym, where they focus primarily on like your middle-aged professionals, 50, 60, 70 and up, that just don't fit into like the CrossFit Olympic type crowd. So I had both of those streams coming in, and then over time, just I think taking really good care of those people just naturally blossomed. And I mean, my practice pretty much grew all word of mouth for that first probably 2 years.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way to go when you're first getting started. If you have those strategic relationships, like just tripling down on those and taking really good care of your people, can take you pretty dang far. How big did you build the practice just focusing on that?
Just shy of 200K.
Nice. That's beautiful.
There was like workshops here and there, but
Yeah.
honestly, workshops were never like a big generator for me.
Yeah.
It was just word of mouth and taking really good care of people, and then some follow-ups and emails, and pretty much marketing primarily at that stage anyway, to people, like to past clients.
Did you do anything unique to try to kind of systematize collecting referrals?
Not so much. It was just a very simple, I think, organic, natural approach
Yeah.
where like, when a client would bring up, a big win, or you could tell they were just super pumped and super happy, then I would always just sneak in, well, hey, like, if you're feeling this good after everything
Right.
you've been through, is there, just kind of sneaking in when a good story comes up.
Yeah, dude, I mean, it's so easy, but for some reason, people really struggle to just like throw those small few words in there. It's like they just share to win. Just say, tell your friends. That's it.
Yeah. And that's basically what it was. Hey, if you're feeling good, is there someone else in your network? Just tell them about us. And if they want to come over, great, give them our contact.
You think people just overcomplicate it in the
Yeah.
beginning?
100%. I did. I was guilty of that. And then I hired some other mentors and like, dude, just simplify. And
Right.
really my referral conversation, just, hey, anyone who you think like yourself, who might value what we do, give them our contact and we're happy to chat.
Now, when you were first getting started, I mean, you're successful right out of the gate, and that has a lot to do with just your confidence and your work ethic. But like, what were some of the mistakes you made earlier on? And is there anything that you would change about how you did it if you went back?
I wish, I think if there's anything to change, probably just getting systemized early on, like really right from the get-go.
Yeah.
Like I said, I was juggling home health, juggling my practice, and didn't really look for like structuring or systemizing the practice or look for any like professional help until I think I maxed out my clinical load at about 35 hours a week was like the top end.
Yeah.
But that was with doing all the home health stuff. And once I got to that stage, it was like, holy shit, what do I do?
Right.
And so luckily I figured it out, but it was probably a good 6-8 months of pain figuring things out to be able to stay on top of things. Whereas if I would have had a good system in place early on, it would have saved me a lot of headache.
Can you explain what do you mean by systems? Like, is there one in particular that it's like, I can't believe I made it this far without this?
Onboarding sequence. So like when a client first signs up, my process is free phone call, so discovery call, 15-20 minutes, move them into now straight into a paid evaluation. For some clients, sometimes I'll still offer like a free discovery visit, but from the time someone lands on my website, fills out a form to request a call, they're getting nurtured now to where we're kind of dropping value bombs for them, kind of nurturing them up as to why we're different and why we can justify charging what we charge as an out-of-network clinic. They get on the phone call. Once they convert to an eval or whatever it is, they get moved over to another automatic email campaign where, again, they're just learning more about us. There's videos, they're seeing our faces. So by the time they get into the door, there's already been, between my website, the emails, the text, the calls, the videos, 7 or 8 touch points. So it's like we're best friends already. And that they're already expecting or know that a sales conversation is coming, but they're pre-framed for that conversation. Yeah. Knowing that, one thing we say is majority of our clients invest in a package of sessions. Mm-hmm. So having that pre-framed all the way through, recently my package conversions have been like 80-90%.
Yeah.
And then even through the plan of care, like continuing to like pre-frame them then for like continuity programs, membership programs, things like that.
That's a crazy thing, because like when you say like an 80-90% conversion rate, there's a lot of people out there that are like, yeah, bullshit, but if you have that conversation beforehand and you set the expectation and they're showing up having already decided they want it, it's pretty easy. It's not that difficult.
Yep. 100%.
So what, just curious, before you implemented the like new patient onboarding system, for example, what were you converting at that before that? I have no idea. Just curious.
I would have to go back and look at the records, but it wasn't that. It was probably, early days of starting the practice, 50-60-ish%, somewhere in that ballpark.
Heck yeah. So, wow, that's a pretty darn good improvement with some automated emails. Not bad.
I think that's a huge piece, but also just, sales, it's so many reps, so much time working the scripts, like it just comes so naturally to me now. Right. And it's not even sales. Like, it's just, hey, this is what's going on. This is what you need. This is why other things haven't worked. This is how we're going to do it differently. And here's your result. Here's the cost. Here's the cost. Right. So it's just streamline the whole process from front to back.
That's another one that people really, really overcomplicate. Like they put sales up on this like big pedestal when it's like, if you ask like any person we've ever worked with, like they would rate their confidence in their clinical skills 10 out of 10. Some people like 11 out of 10, just pure, just raw confidence. But then when they like take off their like clinician hat and put on their sales hat and start fumbling all over themselves, and it's like, you know what they need, just tell them. Any words of wisdom that helps you kind of bridge that gap where it's just like, stop just trying to sell and just tell them what the hell they need?
Exactly. It's, I mean, I don't even look at it as sales anymore. It's just like, I'm telling people what they need. And yeah, it's literally just a clinical conversation. I just checked all of the stuff out. Here's some limitations that are causing your issues.
Right.
And most people have tried a bunch of things, a number of things before they come to see me. I'm sure that's the case for a lot of folks here. And then it's just relating why those other things haven't worked, what was the missing link, how we're going to do it differently. And then just telling them exactly what they need to get there. So in order for you to get back to X, Y, and Z, always relating back to their primary, goals and drivers, the emotional drivers. I'm always really intentional about bringing up those emotional drivers before I make my recommendation. But if that's what you want to do, your best bet is probably going to be our 10 session package, which is this amount, whatever.
I love it. And so do you only give one recommendation?
Yeah, I used to actually, before working with you guys, we had 3 different package options, 6, 10, 20. And I used to kind of give people the option, like, I think a good fit would be 6 or 10. When in my heart, I kind of knew, hey, it's probably a 10, but I wanted to kind of give people the option. And now it's just like, this is what you need. Right. And that converts so much better.
Right. Because they trust you. It's not sales anymore. It's a professional recommendation.
Yep.
And it's that's what a lot of people don't like. Some people use like pricing sheets. That works well for some people, but that turns it completely changes the perception of what's happening. And I think it really, I don't think I like them just because it feels like people are almost using it to deflect the pressure off of them onto the sheet, where it's like, no, I don't set the prices, like the sheet does. And they almost use it to boost their confidence a little bit. But anyway, so you've been very, right.
And yeah, it's just telling people what they need has been so much easier, so much better. And yeah, once you establish that trust, it's just natural.
Right. And if they don't take your expert opinion based off of like tons of case studies, then it's like, it's not your fault. It's totally on them for not making, the right call if you provided them all the information they need. Right.
Yep.
So you were very successful right out of the gate, had great relationships, had a world-class patient experience. They stuck around. I'm curious, like, what led you to clinical marketer and wanting to jump back in with us? What was going on?
Yeah. So I'd, been through a number of different, mentors, business coaches, masterminds, which, I took helpful pieces, I think, from all of them. And one thing that was just always missing for me, like the organic side, the website, like referrals, word of mouth, workshops, all that stuff, I felt pretty comfortable with, and those things were there. But, the roadblock I was hitting was predictable leads, enough predictable leads and new clients coming in the door to be able to then scale to another provider reliably or comfortably rather. And so while I had worked with like agencies in the past to run ads for me, I never really knew what the hell was going on or like how to run the ads myself. And it was just like, oh, here's my budget, but I didn't know what was going on. And what I really liked and what drew me about to you guys again was it wasn't so much that agency where they're taking a fee, a monthly fee, whatever, and running the ads for me. It was more teaching me how to run the ads, what I'm looking for, when to scale things up, when to scale things down, and just how to run ads myself to be able to fill not only my caseload, but to, when the time comes to fill up in other providers.
Right. It's definitely a peace of mind when, it's like bring on someone else. It's like, I got to triple down on my like organic relationships and referrals. It's a difficult beast to tackle. So initially it was really all about just Facebook ads, learning how to do it, learning how to scale. That
was a big thing that got me in. And then I think the offer that really pulled me in, it's something I was looking at, was a new website. My website was on Squarespace. I did it all myself. It did okay, but the website that you guys built for me, as soon as it went live, like it like doubled my lead flow just organically. So that's been huge for me. That was I think that offer there pushed me over the edge.
Hey, good, good. And those websites, they definitely they perform pretty darn well. I mean, we worked on them for like 3 years to get them to where they are now. And so, how much just from the like, let's forget ads, let's forget promo cycles. Like, how much did you pull in just from the website?
Uh, I think in total, as we go over the past 3 months, I probably averaged six or seven new patients a month. Average patients worth about $2,000 for me. So let's call it 30 to 35K.
Woo, from the website. And what were you pulling in on average before that?
Website, I was probably seeing 2 or 3 new patients coming in on a monthly basis. So it probably just about doubled.
Let's go. So would you say that, I mean, that's added an additional maybe like 10K to your month just from the website.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Let's go. People, that's a free bonus in our program. So come on. So outside of the website then, like what were the biggest pieces to the program? And what kind of results have you seen now that you're 90 days past getting started?
Yeah, so the ads obviously were a big piece, just learning how to do that. I got those turned on and going pretty quickly, and saw good success with those. I've actually had them pause for the last few weeks just because my schedule's been packed. It's usually 2 or 3 weeks for someone to get in. And just Facebook ads leads aren't gonna wait that long. So I had to pause the ads. So good problem to have, like too many leads coming in to handle them. Right. So I pressed pause. And that's where just like the website's been pulling things in. Some of the email marketing, some of the, longer nurture sequences that you guys have taught me have been really helpful. And then like the promo cycle. So I just finished up open enrollment, which was running November 1 through Black Friday. Nice. I still got like 1 or 2 more people that have committed that I'm waiting to kind of finalize things with, but even without them, I'm at like, I think 36K from that one promo cycle.
Is that cash collected?
That's almost that's total revenue. Cash collected is right at like 31K.
That's so nice. People, if you're not running promo cycles or regularly emailing your list, it's something that you have to do. I don't think there's a more fun way to sell packages than just kicking out a few emails and sending out a few texts and then just having a quick influx of cash flow.
Yeah, so that's been huge, man. And then one other thing, which I kicked myself for not realizing this, but like Google reviews obviously are huge. Yep. And I always thought it was just like the sheer number of reviews, right? So one thing I learned going through your program is not just the number, but the frequency with which you're getting reviews. So while I think coming in, I had just shy of 100 5-star reviews on my profile. I just built out those systems and made it much more of a intentional ask. With more clients and averaging maybe 2 or 3 reviews a week. And I think that's really helped out discovery on just the organic side as well.
Huge. And so what would you say? Like, obviously, we've helped you with a few things, a lot of things that you were really already doing. We just helped you kind of systematize it a little bit better so that you can be consistent. But if you had to break it down to one thing, like what's the biggest thing that the book partnership program has given you?
Clarity, I think. And what I mean by that is while there's a number of, wheels and stuff that we're turning between ads and the website and Google and all the forms and stuff like speak to a PT, whatever, knowing where all those leads are coming from on a daily basis. And then knowing based on where people are coming from, who's converting at what rates, knowing how much money's in the pipeline, and just having all that stuff tied together, and just more while I had some of these systems. We good?
Yeah, it cut out there for a second.
Where'd you lose?
It's just the last like 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah. So while I had a lot of those systems, it was just all disconnected. Now things are just so cohesive. Again, it's just easier for me to track where my leads are coming from, what they're worth. And then with some of like the reactivation sequences, folks who don't convert, it's super easy for me to get back in touch with them to try and, run a reactivation type of program. So it makes management of leads and clients and everything it's streamlined everything for me.
That's what I love to hear. And it's um, people don't think about how many gaps in their system actually exist. And you find them real quick once you start running Facebook ads. You have cold traffic running through the business, but a lot
Yeah.
of people, I think, are lulled into a false sense of security about how good their systems are when all their clients are referred to them.
Yeah.
So it's
Or you-
so now, what were you at in terms of revenue now? Now after you have all this stuff implemented,
on a monthly basis.
yeah,
Past couple months, probably, I mean, the open enrollment aside, 15, 20K.
15, 20K. And what are you shooting for? Where are you trying to grow to?
Seven figures eventually. So that 84
Go.
month mark. But like I said, I mean, my main bottleneck right now is just capacity. I
Yep.
don't have time to get more people in unless they wait 2 or 3 weeks. So we've actually got a hire in place, contract signed starting January 8th. Which once that happens, then I can start to turn things back up with marketing and start pumping leads to him.
Let's go. And right now it's just you?
Right now it's just me. Yep.
Go. Dude, we're 4 hires away from a 7-figure clinic.
Yep.
It's all you need, especially at the rates that you're currently charging. Ben and I broke down the math, and that's really all it takes. So what kind of timeline you thinking? You trying to push that pretty aggressively, or going to kind of slow grow it?
Probably, I mean, slow grow. If it happens fast, great. But projection 3 to 5 years would be kind of the goal. Stretch goal 3 years, primary goal 5 years. I'm not sure if you and I touched base on this, but I'm partnering with a buddy of mine, so we're gonna do this together.
Let's
and
go.
leverage resources. That's where the hire came in. We'll be looking at a new space. Obviously front end PT plans of care are going to be the bread and butter. But we'll also be adding in like monthly membership plans as well. We'll be adding in small group training. We'll be adding in like remote programming. So we got a strength coach so we can just push for remote programming and building all that stuff up.
Yep. Add in the medical fitness coaching on the back end.
Yep.
It's a really good one, especially if you can if you have the space. Do you have the space for group sessions?
In my current spot, no. Though January, as January comes around, the guy that I'm partnering with has a space up further north in the city,
Man.
and they've got like a prime spot for group training.
Dude, I'm so excited for you. Congrats on all the success and all the future events that are coming down the pipeline.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it, man. Like I said, it's been awesome working with you guys, and I'm super thankful for your help and guidance and getting things just streamlined.
Appreciate that, man. How, having been through multiple programs, how would you say ours is different, if it's different?
You can give a man a fish or you can teach a man to fish, right? And I think that's the main difference. Is a lot of other groups I've been in is like, do this, do this, do this, but there's no teaching me how to do it myself.
Yeah.
Or they're doing things for me. Whereas with you guys, just the whole structure of the program was, I think, great from front to back, between the modules to go through, really helping me get that foundational understanding on my own and letting me work through it. And then, your one-on-one support calls, your group support calls, just everything is structured to like teach me what I need to know to manage my practice and not rely on an agency ever again. So I mean, that was the main thing that jumped out to me. Was it was just, I could really learn at my own pace and leverage your guys' expertise as needed when I hit roadblocks.
Yes. I love it, man. Thank you so much for sharing your time and with us to come in here and share about your experience within clinical marketer and provide us some tips. I mean, the referral one, just asking, tell a friend, easiest thing you can do to like have a pretty significant increase in just referrals, and just the sales advice you gave on just like pitch one thing, don't sell, just recommend what they actually need, and the onboarding sequence. All three of those things, if you just implemented that, most of you watching this, most of your problems would go away if you just did those three very simple things. Any last pieces of advice for folks?
I mean, a big thing for me and a number of practitioners that I don't want to say like coach, but helped in starting practice, is just that money mindset. Like, and one thing that helped me get over the hump and really be confident charging $249 an hour and charging $2,000 at a time was like, people have money. They come in on their iPhones, they come in their Mercedes Benz, they come in with their Versace purses. Like, they're going to spend this money. Like, it can be on the material stuff, or it can be on, you investing in you to really change their life. So when you really realize the impact that we can have on people and they're spending money anyways, like, I think it's a no-brainer to invest $2,000, $3,000, whatever with us to get their life back.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. People, yeah, they come in, $1,000 phone, $2,000 laptop. They're watching TV every night on a $2,000 TV. They absolutely have it. So, sage advice. Last question. For those who are in the program, we're running, a special promo right now, and we got a lot of people who are on the fence about working with us, wondering if our stuff is legit, if our 30K guarantee is actually possible, and are just curious about how this whole thing works. Anything to say to the folks who are on the fence?
Yeah, jump in and just invest and put your nose down and do the work. If you do the work, you're gonna get the value, and you're gonna make the money. I mean, I think with what's like between the website, the advertising, the promo cycle, probably well over 50, 60K that I pulled in these, whatever, 13 weeks together.
Yep.
So if you do the work, I mean, yes, it is hard work. They're not going to hand you everything, but if you do the work and you're willing to commit to that and learning to grow and run a business, like 100%, you'll get your money's back. So jump in, man. There's nothing to worry about. And their guarantee is totally legit.
Hey, appreciate that, man. Thank you again so much for taking the time. I know you got a million things that you could be doing, but instead you're here sharing your journey and sharing your experience. So thank you. If you're watching this right now, make sure you give Matt some love and some congratulations on all the growth that he's accomplished over the next 90 days and to his 7-figure success in 2024 and beyond. Thanks, everybody. Later.
Yes.